guys, what's going on? I'm Shubhendra Vyas, and if it's your first time here and you want to learn Python and data science from scratch, please click on the subscribe button. Today we are going to understand some of the list methods which are used to add, remove and find elements in a Python list. Let's start with some methods which are used to add elements to a list. First we will define a list by the name of friends, and as we have seen in the previous video that in Python we use square brackets to define a list. So I'll define this list, and as you can see now I have three elements in my friends list which are Ross, Monica and Julie. Let's say I want to add one more element to my list. So the first method that we are going to talk about is append. So let's say I want to add a single element to my list. So what I will do is I will access this method's append by using the dot notation on my list objects. So how the syntax goes like this: first you will write your list name, which is friends, then you will press dot on your keyboard, then you will press tab key, which will show you the different methods or objects available to you for your list. Now I want to choose append first because I want to add an element to my Python list. Then inside this method I will pass a single variable which will be added at the end of my list. So once I execute this, and if I print my list now, you can see Chandler is added to the end of our friends list. So if you want to add a single element at the end of your list, you can use append method. The next method that we want to see is the extend method. So extend method is used to insert multiple elements at the end of your list. You have to be careful that the variable that we are passing or the argument that we are passing to the extend method is again a list, because you can see I have used square brackets and now I can give multiple elements inside my list. So what extend method does, it simply append these two elements at the end of your list. So if I execute this now, you can see after Chandler we have Rachel and Phoebe also added to my friends list. Apart from extend method, I also have my concatenation operator plus, and it will do the same thing which extend has done. The only difference is sometimes people say that the concatenation operator works much slower in comparison to the extend method, but it is much more simpler in comparison to use the extend method, right? So I will simply use a concatenation operator. Like I'm adding two integers, I can simply add two lists, and when I execute this, you can see the size of our friend list is increasing now. Again, Susan and Emily will be added at the end of my list. The last method that we want to see in the adding method section is the insert method. So as of now, whenever we use append, extend or concatenation operator, elements are always getting appended at the end of my list. What if I want to insert an element at a particular index location? So let's say I want to add an element at a index position 0. So what insert method does, it accepts two arguments. The first argument is the index that you want to insert your value, and the second argument is the value itself. So here I want to insert Ben at first position in my list. So when I execute this cell, you can see now that Ben is inserted at the first place in my list. That's all about the adding method. Next we will see some of the famous methods to remove elements from a Python list. The first method that we want to see is the remove method. So in remove method, you just have to pass the value of element that you want to remove from your list, and you can see now Ross has been eliminated or deleted or removed from our list. The next method which comes is pop. Pop is little much different from remove, because in pop you're simply passing the index that you want to remove. So let's say I want to remove the first element from my list. I will pass the index position for that element, which is 0, and when I execute this, it will show me which element it is removing. So there is a basic difference between remove and pop. First, in remove you are passing the value of your element, whereas in pop you are passing the index of your element. Also, pop returns the element which it is removing or deleting from your list. When you again check your list, now it starts with Monica because we just remove Ben from our list. The last remove command, it's not a method actually, it's a command. So del command or delete command, in this what you have to do is you have to use your list name, and in square brackets you can give again the index of element that you want to remove. So again want to remove the element which is present at my first location. If I execute this, nothing will be shown like pop was showing us which element it's removing. Delete command even doesn't show us that. So when I see this, now I have Monica removed and the list starts with Joey. That's all about removing methods. Now we want to see how you can find or count the element in your list. So let's say I want to count the occurrences of a particular element in my friends list. In my friends list, I want to count how many times Phoebe is coming. So if I see my friends list as of now, Phoebe is coming only once. So when I execute this friends.count, and in count method I'm passing the element that I want to be counted, it is showing me as 1. Now let's say if I add one more Phoebe to my list, in this fashion you can see now we have 2 Phoebes. Of course this last Phoebe will be added at the end of my list. Now if I again execute the count method, the count is increased by 1 because now we have 2 elements of the same value present in our list. The last method we want to see today is the index method. So in index method what you does is you pass the value of an element, and index method returns the index at which index position that element is present. So if you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so Susan is present at index 4. When I execute this, we will get the output as 4. So index method is also useful to know at which index a particular element is present. That's all for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Happy learning and stay safe.